But then I think I'd always hear people say things like, if you invest, you can lose the money, you can lose the money. And I was just like, yeah, nah, we're not doing that. Like, hi guys, welcome back to another finance discussion. My name is Lindy and this is Tando, and together we are the duo that makes skilled finances. This is definitely the place to be if you want to level up your personal finance skills with a focus on couples finances and family finances. If you're joining us for the first time, we are so excited to have you here with us. Make sure you follow us on YouTube, click that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Make sure you follow us on all our other socials, that's at Skilled Finances. And if you're someone that loves listening to podcasts, you can find us on your podcast platforms.
Yeah, and today we have an interesting discussion because you are gonna put me in the hot seat, I believe, and ask me some questions. What we on today?
So basically, we are talking about saving
Okay.
versus investing.
Ooh,
Now, if
okay.
I'm being very honest, right, it's taken me a long time to get to a point where I am comfortable with investing, right? So
Yeah.
I think I don't even know if it's like growing up, but like I always had that mindset, right, of when you're saving, right, you can see the money in your bank account and you're there like, yeah, that's my money. Like it's building, it's becoming more and more and more. But then I think I'd always hear people say things like, if you invest, you can lose the money, you can lose the money. And I was just like, yeah, nah, we're not doing that. Like there's no way I am putting my money into investments and losing it. And I think it was always that mindset of I like sort of put investing with loss.
Okay.
Like I
That's a good
just looked
point.
at it as if you invest, you will lose money. Yeah, fair enough. You can make a return on it
Sure.
and gain on it.
Sure.
But it was that fact that, there's that risk as well of
Okay.
losing it.
Okay.
Whereas with saving, I know it's there. I'm not going to lose my money. It's there.
Uh-huh.
So I guess that's why it's important to talk about it, because I feel like there's other people out there that probably have heard similar narratives where
Sure.
people are
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh, if
Yeah.
you invest, you lose your
Absolutely.
money
Absolutely.
without properly explaining it to
Okay.
people.
So
So I thought it'd be good for us to have that chat
man,
today.
I'm really in the hot seat. Okay, let's go. Let's go. I'm ready.
So I
I'm ready.
guess let's start with the easier one.
Of course.
What is saving to you?
So saving, as you said, is probably the easier one to
Yeah.
explain because everybody either has saved or is saving. So I think everybody can easily grasp what saving is.
Right.
To be honest with you, saving is in essence just putting money aside today that you will use in the future.
Yeah.
That's literally it. Whether that future is tomorrow or next week or next month or next year, that's what saving is. You're just putting it aside and you're going to save it to then
Yeah.
use that in the future. I think kind of dive a little bit deeper in terms of the financial system that we're in, what banks then offer you are saving accounts,
Right.
which you can then park your money in. And then for opening that account or saving money with them, they will give you interest back, which is basically them saying, if you save your money in our saving
Yeah.
account, we will give you, say for example, we'll give you 1%.
Right.
And what that basically means is if you put in £100 into that saving account after 1 year, because percentage is always calculated per year, they will give you 1%, which is £1.
Right.
So you put in 100, they'll give you £1 back in a year's time, which then makes your balance £101. And that's basically
Yeah.
saving in a nutshell.
So would you say there's any cons or
Yeah.
problems with saving?
Yeah, so I think saving, well, the approach of saving is that it's actually good for the short term.
Right.
Like I said, it's good because you put money aside for future use, but it's good for the short term future thinking use.
Right.
So, generally speaking, anything under 3 to 5 years in this world is classed as short term.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. But the other thing is that it then doesn't beat inflation.
All
So
right.
inflation is, at its simplest form, is the rate at which the cost of living and the cost of goods will go up.
Right.
So if you, as I mentioned earlier, the savings account will pay you 1%, but the cost of living, let's just say, is going up by 8%.
Yeah.
That basically means that this time next year, your money has grown by 1%, but the cost of things have gone up by 8%.
Right.
So you are basically short 7%, or you are in loss of 7% because your savings haven't grown at least to the same level as inflation, if not
All
more.
right. That's a great way to explain it, because I think lately there's been a lot of posts on socials or like stuff in
Yeah,
newspapers
yeah,
and stuff that's talking about why it's good to be investing at
100%.
this moment.
Yeah.
And a lot of people then say things like, yeah, you're better off investing than saving.
Mm,
And it's quite a lot of people that have been talking about it, right?
mm,
So
mm.
then this segues us into the question of what is investing then? Because I
Okay,
guess when you see a post like that and you don't invest, you're then like,
sure.
but what's
What's
investing?
the point?
Yeah.
Okay, so investing. I'll start with the similarities with saving. So investing is similar to saving because it's putting money aside for future use
Right.
still, but that's kind of the only time that it's the same, or the only thing that's the
Right.
same. But when I say put money aside, the actual definition of investing, and I read this in Forbes recently, and it's actually a very good definition. And it says that investing is the process of buying an asset, and you buy that asset because it will increase in value over time,
Right.
and it will give you a return, whether that's in the form of income, so on a monthly basis,
Yeah.
or in the form of what's called capital gains, which is the fact that the thing you've bought has gone up in value.
Yeah.
So this is where the differences now start to come in between saving and investing. Saving is cash aside. Investing, you're actually buying something.
Yeah.
And that thing that you're buying is called an asset. Now, when we're talking about investing in here, I'm talking about shares really.
Yeah.
So we're not going to get into the other things because you can invest in other things.
Right.
But we're just going to talk about shares because that's the one that is the most widely form of investing that everybody would talk about and everybody would do. Now, the difference between saving and investing, like I said, is that investing, you're buying something. So imagine I'm buying this
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
and I buy it. So when I buy it, I'm buying it from an investing perspective. I'm buying it because I believe that this thing will go up in value
Right.
in the future.
Right.
So maybe I bought it today for 100, but I believe that in the next year or 5 years or 10 years, it will be worth more than 100.
Right.
So the price of it will go up.
Yeah.
But the second way that I can get some return is if I buy it, let's just say I buy this thing and Apple say to me, because you bought an iPhone from us, we'll give you £2 a month.
Yeah.
That's then what's called dividends. So that's them paying me for being an owner of this asset that I've bought.
Right.
So it's important to understand this because when you're investing in shares, unlike this phone,
Yeah.
you can't see shares. You
That's
can't touch
true.
shares.
Yeah.
Shares are intangible.
Right.
So you can't exactly say, hey, look, this is my share. You kind of there is no tangible thing that you can touch, unlike this phone, right? But the other difference then is that shares are valued like literally to the split second. So every time you log
Ah,
in,
right.
say you invest in a share and you log into the platform or the place where you have invested,
Yeah.
they will show you immediately how much your share is worth.
Yeah.
Whereas when I invest in this phone, I kind of have to do my research to find out how much is this phone worth today. Actually, I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't
Yeah.
on top of my head. I don't know.
Yeah.
And Apple won't tell me if I just log in on my phone. I have to then look at, say, Amazon and Facebook Marketplace to kind of calculate. Okay, this is how much everyone else in the market is selling something like this for.
Yeah.
Right. So I have to do the research. Or like property. Imagine like you invest in property. You have to get a surveyor or conveyancer
To come out.
to come out and
Yeah.
actually value your property. So you don't know every single minute how much your property is worth.
Yeah.
Whereas with shares, every time you log in, you're told instantly, this is how much the thing that you've bought is worth today. So that's I'm kind of getting into the details, but that's basically the differences there.
Right.
Yeah.
So I like how you've differentiated the two of them. But I guess I'd like to take you back to the sort of mindset that I used to have, right?
Okay.
Where people
Yep.
are like, well, if you save, you're not losing any money, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
wouldn't you say that saving is better because you're guaranteed to not lose money? Because with
Oh, I like this.
investing, yeah,
Okay. So saving is guaranteed because you don't lose money. Okay, so the truth is this: that cash is guaranteed, as in like what you said. You save £1,000 or £10,000,
yeah,
you're guaranteed that that £10,000 will always be £10,000,
£10,000, right?
and you're not going to lose any of that £10,000.
Yeah,
But let's define the word lose in this context,
yeah,
right? So, an example. Uh, Going back to that example I said earlier, actually, about saving and inflation. Inflation is going up, so you're losing the value of that 10,000.
right.
You may not lose the actual
10,000,
amount, which is 10,000,
yeah,
but you're losing the value. By that I mean, Today you can buy, this is going to be a bad example, but hey, it is an example. You can buy this iPhone that I'm holding in my
Yeah.
hand. Let's just say you can buy it for £1,000
Right.
today. But what inflation means is that in 5 years' time, this might actually cost 1,200 or
Right.
1,300
Right.
because it's increased in price. The cost of goods and services has gone up.
Yeah.
But then you only still have 1,000 because that's how much you've saved.
Right.
So your cash is guaranteed that it will always be 1,000, but you're losing the power of buying
Right.
because today this phone is 1,000.
Yeah.
You have 1,000, so you can afford this phone.
Yeah.
But in 5 years' time, this phone now costs more.
Yeah.
But you still only have 1,000, so you now need to find the difference,
extra,
the
yeah.
extra, to make up for the fact that inflation has caused things to rise up. So you lose by saving. Investing, on the other hand, of course, you may lose money investing, but saving is not guaranteed.
Money, money, money. Something that a lot of us are not taught in school, but there's still an expectation for us to know what to do with it. And there's a lot to learn when it comes to money. You have to know how to manage it, how to save, where to invest, and loads more other things.
And this is exactly why we've put together the free 10-day money course for you to learn the foundations of how to be skilled with your finances. Over 10 days, we'll be sending you emails directly to your inbox for free, jam-packed with information from budgeting, debts, saving, insurance, investing, and so much more. Click the link in the description to sign up today or go to skilledfinances.com/free money course.
All right, let's get back to today's discussion. That's true.
In that sense.
But now that you've said that, isn't investing risky as well, though?
It is. It is risky. Now, there's levels to the risk, right? So not investing at all, if you choose not to invest, in a way that's a guaranteed loss because you're
Right.
literally not doing anything to make your money grow above inflation.
Right.
So that's a guaranteed, like you are literally saying to yourself, in 5 years' time, my money will be worth less money than today. And I'm
Yeah.
okay with that. Whereas investing is actually saying, okay, I'm going to put my money into this asset because this particular asset or this thing that I'm investing in has got the right potentials and the right sort of mechanism behind it to grow at a faster pace than
Right.
inflation.
Yeah.
And so when you're investing, you may invest in something that will then grow beyond inflation.
Absolutely.
As in, if inflation is 7% or 8%, you may invest in something that will actually give you 20% return.
Right.
So all of a sudden, not only have you beat inflation, but you've literally earned so much more money on
Exactly.
top.
Yeah.
So your investments could grow faster than inflation.
Yeah.
Now, the risk comes into the fact that when it comes to shares, you're actually buying, like, remember when I said investing is buying an asset?
Yeah.
You're buying a share in a company.
Right.
So the risk involved is that companies can fail
That's true.
or companies can lose money.
Yeah.
Like Netflix, what happened in Netflix
Yeah.
recently, Netflix came out and said, we've lost a lot of subscribers.
Yeah.
That meant, or that led to their share price dropping by 20%.
Yeah.
I think it was 20%. And that's kind of how you could lose money.
Yeah.
Right. But let's come back to the property example for a second. When you buy a property, let's say you invest in property right now.
Yeah.
And you bought it for 150,000.
Yeah.
And in 3 years' time, you get it valued and they say to you, it's now worth 130,000.
Yeah.
Would you sell it?
No.
Why not?
Because I'd hold on to it because technically I've lost the 20,000.
Okay, but would you sell the property at 130 when you bought it for 150?
No, I wouldn't.
And because?
I'd hold on to it
Yeah.
in the hopes that it actually increases in price.
Exactly.
Then I can always sell it once it's increased in
Once
price.
it's increased in price. Exactly the point. That's
Yeah.
exactly the same with shares. So when you have the choice to sell
Yeah.
your shares that you've got, if you log into Trading 212, let's say, or wherever you invest, and you're seeing that, oh look, my portfolio has lost money. It's
Yeah.
gone down. It's in the
Yeah.
red, and it's gone down by 30%. If you choose to sell at that point, then you are literally saying, I'm choosing to sell it at a loss.
Yeah.
But you don't have to sell. It's
can
like just
wait.
like what you said about the property example. You could say to yourself, well, I bought it at this price and I'm going to wait until it at least gets back to that price.
Yeah.
if not more.
Yeah.
If it goes more than what you bought it for, then great, you're in profit. So investing is risky, but it's really about changing your mindset with this. And
Absolutely.
it's about understanding that if you do invest in something and the price or the value of it drops, you don't have to sell it, only unless if it's like, okay, this company is going bankrupt.
Yeah, and
then
you've
I ain't
got no
a choice.
choice.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
ain't got no choice. I'll take my losses. It is what it is. But on the other side, it's just that you don't sell it. But let's come back to the risk situation for a second. If you invested in a big company like Netflix, like Facebook, Amazon, Google, Tesla, these are massive companies.
Yeah.
What are the chances of this company is going down tomorrow? Very slim at the moment.
Yeah.
But what's the chance of a smaller company going down tomorrow? Quite high.
Yeah.
So the level of risk depends on the kind of companies that you're then investing in,
Right.
because bigger companies that have been here for years and have a strong market position, that's considered quite a safer risk, should I
Yeah.
say, than a new company that just started 2 years ago and they're still trying to find their way. That's potentially a higher risk
Right.
than an Apple, because Apple is like tried and tested.
Yeah.
So there is risk, but you gotta think about it. There's knowledge behind it, and we're not even scratching the surface. But yeah.
No, I love the way that you've explained it, because I think when you just hear people saying things like, well, if you invest, you lose money, right?
Yeah.
Without really going into deep about, okay, how do you lose money? And actually, people don't often then highlight the fact that actually you could make money. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of almost always approached from like a negative viewpoint,
Yeah,
but there are
yeah.
positives to it.
There are positives to
Yeah.
it, yeah, and you could make money, and then the difference is that when coming back to kind of saving, this whole concept of saving versus investing, when you save money, the bank will tell you up front,
Yeah.
we will give you this return
Yeah.
in a year's time. And this is why you have to switch, because I think this is one of the things that confuses people.
Yeah.
People think, well, if I'm saving money, I know how much interest I'm getting. So how much am I going to earn by investing?
Yeah.
And it's like, no. You're not going to, no one can tell you, right? It's like, no one can say to you, if you buy this share or even this property,
Yeah.
in 2 years' time, it will go up by 7.75%. No one can say that, because we don't
Yeah.
know. We don't know what the market will do. But what we do when it comes to investing is we look back over the last, say, 5 or 10 year or even longer
Yeah.
periods, and kind of do an educated calculation of, well, these are the return that this investment has earned over this time.
Right.
And therefore, based on that, and based on, because remember, you're investing in a company, based on the plans that the company has over the next year, they look like they're on a good traction. They look like they're going towards the right
that's true.
direction.
That's true.
If Apple came out next week and said, we are no longer doing iPhones, we're no longer doing AirPods or whatever, everybody would be worried.
Yeah.
Right. And equally, you might then say, oh, well, I'm not going to invest in Apple because I don't know what they're doing. Like, they look like they're
Yeah.
confused. But if Apple were to come out and say, we are going to release the latest iPhone and it's going to be a much better version than every iPhone you've ever received, that's probably a good sign. And then if they release it and people are buying it and really liking it, that's another good sign. Like,
Yeah.
these guys are on the right trajectory here.
Absolutely.
So I feel confident to invest in them, because where they're going as a company and where they've come from, everything is looking good.
Absolutely.
So that the difference with investing is that you don't know how much you will really earn in the future, but you have to have a long-term mindset. If you invest in something, you're not investing to make money tomorrow or next year. If you do, great. But the mindset is, I'm aiming to get my return in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years time,
Right.
because this is a long-term relationship that I'm
Yeah.
getting into here. This is not like I'm in and out, in and out. That's, in my mind, that's the difference between trading and investing. Trading is
Yeah.
in and out, short term. Investing is long term. I'm putting my money here because I believe in the thing that I've put my money into.
Absolutely. So I guess in conclusion, or to round off,
Mm.
from what you have said, I've understood that when it comes to saving, saving is good for short-term goals. So that's like, I'm going on a staycation, or I'm buying a
Yeah.
house in the next 2 years, or I'm getting married. It's good for things like that.
Yep.
But then investing is good for longer-term goals. So money that you can then get out in 20 years' time when you've
Yeah.
decided to retire, or if you're planning to leave something for your children when they grow up,
Yeah,
and they're
yeah,
quite
that's a good
young
one.
at the moment.
Mhm.
So that's a great way to then look at saving versus investing.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll be honest, we could talk about this topic for the whole day, and we
Yeah.
could still be here. we only have just scratched the surface. But hopefully has this been helpful to you?
Yeah.
Because, if it's unlocked your mind and
Yeah.
made you see things differently, then hopefully it helps other people who are thinking in the same who are in the same confusion about, I'm not quite understanding this whole investing
Yeah.
thing compared to saving, and how they both work. Because,
Yeah.
we believe in doing both.
Yeah.
100%. But investing is a must for many reasons, and one of the biggest reason is because you're trying to beat inflation.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, if our pay rises were more than 8% a year,
Oh,
we
wow.
kind of would be okay,
Best
right?
thing ever.
It'd be like amazing. We could invest, but investing becomes optional. But the truth of the matter is, your pay rise and your savings accounts are not really giving you a return that's growing faster than the rate of inflation. The cost of living is going up much faster. So investing is then like one of the best ways you can then make sure that, okay, I'm gonna not just keep up with inflation, but I'm gonna beat it. So I'm gonna make more money, and I'm gonna put my money to work for me, not always me working for my money.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's the mindset to have. So I think we'll close it here, because like I said, we could go on and on with this conversation. Hopefully this has been helpful for you. Now let us know in the comments, what questions do you have about saving or investing, and how do you see the differences between the two? What strategies do you have when it comes to your investing plan? And if you're not currently investing, tell us why in the comments. Would love to understand if there's anything else that's holding you back. Definitely let us know. But hopefully this has unlocked something in your mindset to think to yourself, there is a place for investing in my finances, and there is a place for me to make sure that I put in the work to learn about investing and get started with it. It's not as hard as it may seem, but we'll probably go into more details in the future discussion about how you can get started and things like that, and moving forward. If you're listening on a podcast, would love to hear a review from you. Definitely leave us one and we'll check it out on there. Thank you for joining us today, and it has been an exciting time, and we can't wait to see you soon.